Everybody, we just gave a briefing to the council on my budget for 2017, and I'm very pleased that it will be the first budget that we submit through the budget autonomy process. So the local budget and the other parts of the budget will be separated. I want to acknowledge and thank the council for their leadership on the budget autonomy question, and also the CFO for asking legitimate questions and having those legitimate questions answered. But the courts have spoken, and budget autonomy is the law of the land, so we're very happy about that. I also want to thank the city administrator and the budget team and all the directors who've worked very hard, also members of the public who came out to express their priorities for this budget, and we have done our level best to make sure that the priorities of collectively of the council and the mayor and the people of the district are reflected in this budget. You've heard me say that we're really focused on the 4 pillars that are going to allow us to grow a strong middle class in D.C.: schools, public safety, infrastructure, and critical investments in the people of Washington. So with that, I want to turn to the city administrator to give some high-level points about this budget, and then we'll answer your questions.
Thank you, Mayor. This budget represents significant investment, as the Mayor talked about, in those pillars of schools and public safety, infrastructure, and people. We heard from residents that the #1 priority for them was investment in schools, and so we have done that both on the operating side with $75 additional million to our public schools and our public charter schools, as well as $220 million in the capital program to really move our modernization program forward. We have investments in advancing our homelessness strategy. Homeward DC is a plan that was adopted by the Interagency Council on Homelessness last year. We made nearly $20 million of investments as a down payment on that strategic plan last year. We have an additional $13 million in those investments again this year. Those investments really complement the strategy that we're following around short-term family housing because we're really focused on a system redesign for our homeless services population. We're investing in the residents of the District of Columbia. So we have resources to invest in job training and workforce development programs through our Career Connections program, through our LEAP Academy, through our Marion Barry Summer Youth Employment program. We're making investments in public safety, additional officers for MPD, EMS reform for fire, additional investments in our crime lab, additional investments in the capital programs for our public safety agencies to include new vehicles and new facilities, additional investments in infrastructure, in our roads and our bridges, our curbs and our sidewalks. So we're proud of the budget that we've put on the table. We think it is reflective of not only the expectations that residents have of us, but is reflective of the council's priorities and certainly reflects the vision of the mayor for a pathway to creating pathways to a middle class and giving people a fair shot in the District of Columbia. So you all have seen the presentation that we made to council upstairs, and we certainly have that available for you, and so we'll be subject to your questions.
So one thing you obviously highlighted was the school modernization money. Last year, as you know, the DC auditor put out a pretty critical report of how the money's been spent over the last many years. How is it going to change moving forward? Like, how is this $1.3 billion going to be spent differently, and how will community see modernization happening differently than they did in the past?
Well, first of all, I think that we should be very proud of the modernization work that we've done. Prior to 2007, you could literally go around D.C. in just about every neighborhood and every building and see school buildings crumbling. That's not the case now. And so the residents of the district ought to be very proud that they were willing to step up to the plate and make those very critical investments. So by the end of this CIP, we will have 2 handfuls of schools that that will still need attention, and another 35 who will need phase 2 development. So that's very important. The key changes that we made to our approach was not to do small modernizations, half modernizations, or phase 1 modernizations, but move to full modernizations. So at the end of this period, what you will see is all of our high schools done, except Washington Met, which will need our attention. All of our middle schools done, which was a commitment and a cry that we heard from every part of the city. Let's fix middle schools, and so we will have reformed middle schools. And then we will have to have a very serious discussion about how we're going to get to the rest of the schools. The other thing that's different is we worked with the council on a prioritization process. I think a lot of what we've heard, certainly over the last 8-10 years, is that there was kind of no rhyme or reason to who went first. And we have worked with the council to change that, to come up with a critical list of priorities. Yes, ma'am.
Can I follow up on this question? I think the part of this question coincides with what I wanted to ask you about. And what he was alluding to was the report the DC auditor came out with, and the upcoming report she's doing on New Ellington School, which talks about not only the money she put to school modernization, but the cost, the runaway cost overrun. And as you know, the Education Committee of the Council had a hearing on MERC, and the cost for renovating MERC was supposed to be, I think, $75 million. The council found another $10 million. And then the testimony the other day is, with the additional $10 million, that's still not going to be enough.
Well, let me stop you there, because that's not actually the case. And so let me just talk about merch. Last year, when I became mayor, you know what the budgeted amount for merch was? It was like $33 million. And last year's budget, we doubled it. And then we had to account for how the children would swing during the construction period, which added some monies to it. So we're at, I think, $78 million for the construction at Merch. Just keep in mind, a very, very close by, a elementary school of similar size at Lafayette will complete its renovation for around that amount of money too.
But my point is, yes, the numbers are important, but my point and my concern that a lot of people have is, what are we getting for the tremendous amount of money we're spending on these renovations? And again, the projects come in, initially they're supposed to cost this amount, they balloon to this amount, and even with MERC and the additional funding we keep for MERC, they testified the other day that that's not going to be a complete and total renovation.
I have to stop you, Ms. Brazil, because that's just not the case. Merch will have a complete modernization, a full modernization at $78 million.
What are you going to do to reform DGS to better oversee the capital projects for the cost?
And I'm glad you asked that question, because we're in that period now. And so, to Martin's earlier point, the audit that was done covered no part of the Bowser administration. Duke Ellington started and got underway and was contracted. We're going to finish it, but we didn't start it. And so we've done a top down from the beginning of how things work at DGS. It's turned out to be a kind of complicated way to unwrap it. But one focus that we've had is kind of switching our thinking also to have schools and not construction drive the discussion with the community. And I think that is turning out to be a good thing. Yes.
Mayor, I heard Mr. Young say additional investments in this, additional investments in that. Question, is everything going up? I mean, are you cutting anywhere? And then the other thing is, are these the good old days? Is it a great time to be in charge of DC in terms of being able to spend money and not have to retract?
It's a good time in Washington, D.C., but one thing I know about this is you can't sit on your laurels. You can't go back to bad habits, and certainly we haven't. This is a fiscally responsible budget that is balanced, that works with the revenues that we have. We haven't asked the taxpayers for any more money. I'm just double checking with the city administrator in this budget. The CFO helped us identify additional monies that we shouldn't be spending and having sitting in a pot pot somewhere that could be used for our priorities of today. Our agency directors also went through their budgets to see if there were things that could be streamlined, and we recognize those savings as well. So this is a budget where it's not growing wildly. In fact, Rashad is going to tell you why it's one of the most slow growth budgets that we've had in recent years.
Thank you, Mayor. And Sam, that's correct. The budget that we're presenting is growing by 3.15%. That is the lowest growth budget, at least in the last 6 years. And so while we are able to address a number of the priorities and make investments, we've done that because we've been prudent in how we've structured this budget, both from looking at where we don't have to spend money, as the Mayor alluded to, that we can invest in priorities, and asking our agencies to take a very hard look at their spending. And so we have over $100 million of reductions and efficiencies that we got from agencies across the government to make the investments that we're making that are additional possible. So lowest growth budget in recent memory of the district, 3.15% as compared to roughly 5% last year. And we're still able to fund many, not all, but many of the priorities that really sort of set the tone for the vision of what we want to achieve.
But he also heard you say that you found, I think, $200 million, and you were told you had an extra $200 million.
No, I didn't find the $200 million. The CFO, as you know, does revenue projections and forecasts, and so he forecasted 3% growth. 3% growth equates to about $220 million. So that is the growth that's forecasted year over year, and we are constrained by that growth of 3% as opposed to in prior years when the budget grew 5, 6, in some years 7%. I think the highest number in the recent memory that we looked at was around 9%. So we're growing 3%, and we didn't find it. It was forecasted. Revenue.
Let me just add one thing to that. When we say we're adding $75 million to public education, for example, part of that is because we have more children to educate. So that is a good thing. And so the budget is going to grow as we have more people to serve. And I know you've heard the forecast that now we have a new number that will be over 1 million people in Washington, D.C. By 2045. Now, another aspect of how this budget will reflect our real needs is that we're investing in our public safety. I explained the other night that in a 10-year period, while we grew by tens of thousands of people, we didn't change the number of ambulances that we had on the street. We hadn't hired call takers at our 911 call center in 8 years. So this budget will reflect the real needs of a growing city. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. On the public safety issue, we have a few more specifics. I know you talked about them in the state of the district. As far as new ambulances, new body cameras for police, were you able to ask for enough to get all of that done, and what can people expect in the near future?
Absolutely. So we have, and I'll ask both chiefs to come up to add to this answer, but we fully funded our body camera program. We made the order for the body cameras last year. It was part of our Safer, Stronger supplemental. We have the monies in place that we will need for FOIA and the FOIA request and the redactions. And so we hope that we're going to be sitting at the right number for that. So we have what we need. This budget also includes the annualized cost of our third-party ambulance program and capital funding for the equipment, the actual vehicles that we'll need outside of that program. Anything else to add? Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Yes, sir.
Does the budget fully
Please
fund?
tell me who you are.
I'm sorry?
Your name?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan McDermott, Washington Times.
Okay.
Does the budget fully fund the public safety bill that the council passed?
The budget focuses on employment for juvenile, for people involved in crime, especially juveniles, in the Career Connections program. Okay.
List the school districts that thought they were going to get partial rotation last year,
Well, in the fiscal year, no, we talk about the budget in terms of the six-year plan, and a lot of the additional funding that we added will be focused over the next two years, and the balance in the last 4 years of the CIP. Is that your question?
Kind of. It seems like you're going to do full implementation of some dorms, maybe the pipeline, other which ones are like priorities?
Yes, I can tell you that our priorities will be around finishing middle schools and high schools, and so all of those will be done. And we've also prepared a packet that we can share with you about where each phase that the schools are in.
What's the top priority for you?
No, we
One part of the city is
No, we really took our lead from the committee, the committee's priorities list, and I don't know, Chancellor or Jenny, if you have anything to add to that. Also, as factored into that was how do we finish middle schools, high schools, and can all of those things be phased with the available swing space? And so those are the things that impacted decisions.
Some of the other criteria, and as the mayor said, that were taken from the prioritizations that the committee put together, are around equity. So a real focus on schools that serve students with at-risk students, student demand. So we look at enrollment and building utilization, and we want to modernize the places where there are lots of kids or where utilization is growing quickly. We look at neighborhood population. We look at the condition of the building, and all of those are weighted with different weights. And I think on the committee's website you can see the matrix, and we use those same criteria. We just prioritize some additional things like middle schools, as the mayor committed to.
Mayor, could you talk a bit about the jail situation and why you decided to end the relationship with Corrections Corporation of America? And I understand that you want to have more be able to work with prisoners in that case. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so our real decision was not whether we are going to be involved in one vendor or another. The decision was that we wanted to provide the services and not have the services provided by a contractor. And Director Faust spoke a little bit earlier about why that's so important, how we have driven down, because of all the work that we're doing in our city, our jail population at the detention facility. We also have below capacity at the treatment center. And so we know if we have this all under one umbrella, we will be able to control the capacity a little bit better. Work with our colleagues at the Bureau of Prisons on arrangements about people. Everybody knows that we don't have a prison here, so all of our prisoners are housed in the federal system. And so we want to work with them on how people who are at the end of their federal terms could get to D.C. sooner. Two things can happen there. That the D.C. jail, the Department of Corrections becomes responsible for their reentry services. Reentry services in the Bureau of Prisons is widely criticized. And so we don't feel like our folks are getting their best chance to reenter. Second, they'll be closer to home. A lot of people who are served long sentences have been away from their families. Their families can't see them. And that family reintegration is also a very important part of people being successful.
Was there any issue with having a contractor? So I guess now DC jail system will be totally run by the city.
That's correct.
Was there a problem with that?
There was not a problem. If you want to add something, Faust. Okay, so yeah, they've had it for 20 years. They've had it for 20 years. It expires, and so we're just rethinking how we're doing it. Yes, sir.
When do you consider doing different budget funding? Definitely because of the
Well, that's something to consider if our approach to budgeting changes with autonomy. But to be honest with you, we got the ruling last Friday, the day we went pencils down on the budget. Yes.
Can you just talk what the budget process, how the budget process will change now that we have autonomy? Because needless to say, trying to explain this to people, they get.
I know, it's hard. It's even hard for a lot of us who've been doing it one way the whole time. One thing I should say is throughout this period, the city administrator has produced 2 budgets. And last year, we almost did it, and we didn't do it. Instead, we submitted like a transmittal letter that says, we're doing it, we don't think we really have to do it, but we're going to send this to you anyway. So I'll let the city administrator talk about the 2 budget process.
So in effect, what we'll do is submit our federal request. The district is unique that we get a direct appropriation from Congress. We'll submit our federal request to the president for Congress's consideration, and we're going to pass the local budget, the district's budget, like we would pass any other law in the district. And so it still has an opportunity for congressional review, but we're not going to submit the budget according to the appropriation process that we have typically followed.
Thank you.